الله وبركاته. الحمد لله ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد بن الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. أما بعد, Your Excellency Dr. Ali Olampur, Ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Iran to Kenya, Dr. Ali Hormajan, our cultural counselor, a great friend, our honorable chief guest, Emeritus Dr. William Mutunga, distinguished participants, my mentors, my lecturers who I see before me, and I highly apologize to my lecturers for sitting in front. I wanted to sit at the back. Actually, I came and sat there, but I was forced to sit there, so I apologize to my lecturers who are here, including Professor Akida, who highly made my Arabic be what it is today. It is my humble pleasure and honor to represent Chance Publishers Limited. This launch of this profound and timely book, Haki za Binadamu katika Uislamu, a book which I've read 3 times from cover to cover, because I was one of the editors of the book. And the areas I was editing actually was Arabic. There were verses of Quran in the book, and many times when you put them in one document, they cut themselves. This is a big challenge, and that's where Chance Publishers has turned out to be the leading publishing house in Eastern Africa as far as publishing of books in other languages is concerned. You cannot get anywhere. You take it to any publishing house in Kenya, your book will stay for 2 years. Take it from me. Try. Take any book, it has any other language, it will stay for 2 years. And every time they take your money and they'll be taking you around, and you cannot take the money back because there is somewhere you sign that the money is non-refundable. So you cannot do anything. Many people have come to us and they tell us, we have seen magic in your publishing house. So this book actually, it's not a mere academic exercise because it's a blueprint for justice. You see, when you look at this, you see a moral insight to moral clarity, as Professor is saying. You note that it is timeless wisdom of Islam. When you look at the book actually, you realize what is there actually are the human rights which no one can give, no one can amend, because human rights are more of natural rights. We are witnessing, for example, in Gaza, where many people are dying on a daily basis. And we hear of Western countries talking of justice. Which justice do they talk about when children are dying on a daily basis? Justice is only when it favors them, but not any other time. This book reminds us that Islam's approach to human rights is not a footnote to modern frameworks. It is a complete value-based foundation that upholds the sanctity of life, the dignity of oppressed, and accountability of the powerful. The Iranian embassies continued support for the dissemination of Islamic scholarship through forums like this reassess the role that faith-based diplomacy and cultural engagement can play in shaping global dialogue. When the West fails to protect Muslim lives, because they are Muslim lives, to them they are nothing, it becomes even more important that we turn to our own intellectual moral traditions. I can tell you, even African traditional rights, human rights, are better by far than the Western rights, I'm telling you. There's no human rights where people walk naked, where people kill others, and then there are rules which are supporting them. I commend Dr. Araste for bringing forward this book that is not scholarly but necessary, and I urge readers who are here, especially our youth, and especially I can see one of the human rights activists who is sitting here, and I've watched you many times. I'm proud to see you here. I'm encouraging all of us to get a copy of this book, and let us all uphold justice in every time, in every place we are. To our friends from the Cultural Council and the Embassy of Iran, thank you so much for your partnership in this noble cause. To all our guests, and especially our emeritus, thank you for standing with truth, with books, and with justice. Before I sit, I must actually thank for another time the Iran as a country, because in all forums I go, I always pray for Iran, even in Sunni mosque, and there has been a big debate. Dr. Hassan, are you Shia? Why are you asking if I'm Shia? Why are you playing for Iran? I give khutbah every Friday. Allahumma aiza Iran ya Rabbi. And they tell me why. I say, I stand for anyone who stands for justice. Not because I'm Shia or not, but Iran stands for the same. And lastly, I will highly also appreciate and thank our emeritus, because maybe he has forgotten me. We went to his office when I was very young. when I was the Director of Religious Affairs at the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims with Professor Musaidi and the late Ustad Mohamed Shirwana. And at that time, the cadis of this country were earning very meager salaries. They had nothing. Even the chief Qadi used to walk from sometimes South Sea to town, sometimes using matatu. And when we talked to him, he said, I was waiting for you to come. And I can assure you, all the reforms you see in the Qadi courts are because of our emeritus. And as we are waiting for the chief Qadi vacancies to be announced, I will be also applying this time around, and I pray for your prayers, inshallah, to see that at least at the first time in the history of Kenya, Kenyans can have a Qadi who has both religious education and secular education with a degree and other education. Thank you so much, and God bless all of you, and I encourage each and every person to make sure that they get a hold of this book. It's a great book. You read it, my friend. You love justice, and you never shy away from speaking for justice and standing with the oppressed. Shukran jazilan wa ma'as salam.